Ross, good morning, and thanks for your time. So let's talk about this. I mean, we wouldn't think in 2019 that we're still seeing, that we have to talk about how far we've come. But obviously there are issues and there are problems in the workplace. Let's talk firstly about why we have to have a day like today, where we have to highlight this.
Well, Idaho Day, the significance of the date of Idaho Day is when the World Health Organization declassified homophobia as a mental disorder. And that only happened in 1990. So this is recent history. You know, the one thing about the LGBT people, whether it's at home or in the workplace, is that almost, I suppose, is a survival mechanism throughout history, and that we are able to hide. You don't know if someone in the workplace is gay or lesbian necessarily unless they come out and tell you.
Yeah.
So it's important to have a day where visibility is given to people who aren't necessarily comfortable in being themselves.
Well, you use the word hide.
Yes.
Are they necessarily having to hide in the workplace? In South Africa, are we still seeing that there are whispers, that there's finger pointing when it comes to somebody who wants to just be who they are?
Well, I think I would love to say no, but the answer, unfortunately, is yes. In creating our network at Norton Rose Fulbright Pride, I've been very fortunate. The organization that I work for, they've only been positive, they've only been supportive. But when we created our network, and a couple of other organizations in South Africa had created networks at the same time, we reached out to corporate South Africa to link up networks. You know, we can become quite a nice lobbying body through corporate for LGBT issues. And I was amazed at how few corporates have LGBT networks. And in speaking to people, it became evident to me that in a lot of corporates, the answer is no.
Yeah.
They are not willing to support something like this.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I can't answer that.
Reasons, yeah. Well, I suppose at this point, Ross, one would have to ask, do you need a network? Why would you need a network? You know, if the idea is to not separate from everybody else that you work with, what would be the purpose of such a network, and how does it help?
So, I think that it serves a great purpose. I've seen within my organization, we really try and consistently send out communications on an educational level around you know, LGBT people, and I'm always pleasantly surprised at the conversation that it fosters, and people who will come to me who maybe their backgrounds they are not LGBT friendly at home, and they'll say to me, you know, I think my nephew is gay. What should I do? You know, that I think that a lot of bigotry comes from a place of ignorance. And the more that you can, in the workplace where people spend 8-10 hours a day, sort of foster conversation like that, it's only going to help.
How far are we seeing discrimination in whichever companies? Like you say, your company is quite progressive, you know, you have the support there. From what you know elsewhere, are we seeing that people are being denied positions, denied benefits, being denied promotions or whatever it is because of who they are, because whether they're LGBTI or whatever it is? Are we still seeing that that's happening?
I can't answer definitively on that, but you know, it certainly is the case. If you are in the workplace and you're scared to be who you are in the workplace, and you are preoccupied with hiding maybe, you know, your voice or the way that you walk or the way that your wrist moves or whatever the case is, that is something that occupies your mind. It means that you're not focused on your work. It means that you can't achieve as you may have been able to achieve had you just been able to be yourself.
So a network like yours, like Pride, how do people get in touch with you? Would you be willing to help those whose companies don't support them in this way? How are you able to help them?
Absolutely. I've chatted to quite a few different organizations around sort of how to approach approach setting up a network. There's also a non-profit company that myself and a couple of other people involved in corporate South Africa set up. It's called the South African LGBT Plus Management Forum. They've got a website with freely downloadable literature and how-to guides on...
And your rights, of course, I suppose, are very important as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is a whole document on rights within the workplace, as well as obligations of companies. And there's freely downloadable literature on that website on how to go about setting up a network.
All right, thanks very much for that insight.